moving to New Mexico.
Yeah, everybody else has been moved out, so I think the adjunct, which is Larry Linton out of Tucson, he decided to do a mass email out as to who is still interested and wanted to keep the chapter viable, right? I'm on for, I've been picked for the National Inspector.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to the full white hat. Where all I do is answer to the national commander as to investigations. No doubt, right? But yeah, I didn't put two and two together. I did email last night and today. So
I got both of those.
All right, I did a one-page statement document.
Okay.
And also did a second one, which is I tried to do a PDF, so I wasn't bombarding you with like 1,000 pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's that. I don't know, where do you want to begin? There's a lady, I wouldn't say a young lady, I would say a lady that's in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in Glendale.
Right. And this lady has just gone off the hook trying to locate my wife and I.
Do you have previous interactions with her?
No.
Okay.
Now, when I asked my wife, I went, "Do you know a Miss Wright, a Sherry Lee Wright?" And she goes, "Oh yeah." Back in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
She's not back a few years. I was the counselor for the Easter series, dealing with special needs children in the state. Mm-hmm. Well, Shirley, how does she know Sherry Lee Wright? Sherry Lee Wright was a client with her child. Right? Times passed, so information being let go. So her daughter was abused, etc. And she got upset. But Sherry Lee Wright also has a fingerprint card. If you're going to work with children, you have to get a fingerprint card so that you can work with children. Anyway, she's getting ousted with the DCS here, so she picked up and hightailed it to Glendale. Well, when she started chiming online, I was like, "Oh, she's online? She's doing..." Because she was threatening doing the, Daniel Webster is this, that, and the other, in a negative light. Started doing the threats. Okay. Black Lives Matter, they don't matter, follow the blue, back the blue, da-da-da-da-da. They don't know who we are or our background at all. Oh my, wow. Just completely racist, bigoted. You can throw all the terms you want on. Anyway, I'm going to find out that employers are not required to report AZDPS in regards to a fingerprint card.
Okay.
If there's a DCS case. Okay? And if you're in the know, you know that. My wife put it on blast. She goes, "Oh, that's fine. Well, we'll inform them for you." Okay. Do that, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like being let go from a department, as a sworn peace officer, and then jumping ship to another department, but AZ Post doesn't know. Right? Kind of a deal. It's fun. But little things like that, I'm just like, who would have thunk? And then she just went off the chain to the point where she's trying to find pictures and information. Come to find out, she finds our address. I have a business, an LLC, Samurai Solutions, that I brought over from Texas to here as a firearms instructor, etc. And I had my wife use it for doing counseling. That way, if she wanted to assist with people's well-being and mental health, etc. Suicide awareness and prevention, right? That kind of stuff. So she could use that. So we activated it here. We go through the Secretary of State and get it registered. Lo and behold, she puts it on full blast on Facebook. Right? Okay. Hey, this is where they're at. This is what they look like. Right? My wife does children's books on Amazon. Puts her face on Facebook going, look at this Russian. She lives here, right? Go, go attack kind of a deal. Well, sure, shit. What happens this morning or late last night? Let's go shoot them. Well, they don't spell shoot them correctly. It's that CHOOT kind of deal versus the SH. I'm going, really? Okay. Right, so, all right. I'll walk around. I got dogs out back. I got, this will be interesting because I don't know how Lulu and crazy where people are. And when I was thinking of an immediate threat last night on the phone, I'm going, this chick is in, she's in Glendale. That's a few hours out, right? But she's talking to people that are here. And the people involved here are Daniel Webster, which I personally met at the BLM rally.
Was made aware of the situation.
Lacey, who I already saw, but she was sitting across the street. And then it was Tim something or other. And then Willis, W-I-L-L-S-E-Y.
Walsey.
Depending on how you pronounce it.
Sure.
Then then it was a Tony Condor and a whole bunch of other people. And the latest and greatest that I got from that was sent to me about Tony Condor. Like having a gigantic iPad. Huh? Oh, and when somebody's talking about you, you can right-click their comments. And my wife and I are pretty decent at it. But what you can do is get the what do you call it? The IP address and backtrace it.
Oh.
And when we backtraced a couple of them, that was a document I sent you.
Okay.
So this is Tony Condor, right? And that's what he offline me messaged, because he's not a friend of mine on my Facebook. Right? And matter of fact, it's still there. So if I went to my Facebook, if I went to my messages, right? I go to message requests. You can't see me unless I respond.
Right.
Right? Before this goes any further, anyone gets hurt.
Yep.
I'm like, wow. Okay. So I'm now getting those. As to backtracing, when it comes to domains, well, being in the military, knowing a few things about the domains around here, Fort Huachuca, especially in the intel community, any domain that starts off with a 10, which are the low numbers, those are military. The 20 and the 30 series are the federal government series. And you go up from there. That's how you're able to backtrace and look for people that are doxing on the negative nature. I'm like, okay. And we got more extensive. However, purpose for my call was that since she put our address and our information out there and our pictures, at first I asked my wife, I'm like, well, how immediate is this? Because you and I'm not concerned. Right? We're grown adults. Bullshit behavior on Facebook is just that. And she goes, no. Look at the pictures that Miss Wright was putting up. At the bottom and the top of those pictures, the tabs that were open, the state tabs, the AZ state tabs, where she did three things. She paid for Prime, right? In order to get a picture of my wife for the book. That was one. Cracked me up. Hilarious. Number two, she paid for a background. She used some, generic company to do a background on my wife, on the last name, to get our information. information, but you really can't get solid without birthdays and all that fun stuff. And that's really not a background. Anyway, the third was she used her state ID or computer to get information not on my wife, but on our children.
Right.
Chiricahua. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So they know Suki and Tyler from Chiricahua, right? And then she was posting pictures of our daughter and making fun of, like, oh, look at that Jap in a kimono. A 12-year-old daughter, and they're gonna call her a Jap. Really? I just did that DNA 1, 2, and 3, and I'm came back 51% Viking. Are you kidding me? I seriously. And then we do that. Not to get off topic. We did the Ancestry.com.
Yes.
My parents, 13 original colonies. No joke.
There you go.
I'm like,
see?
Whoa. My wife's like, oh my God. You know, it was a big deal.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Just real quick. So you said Sherry Lee
Right.
she was working for DCS down here, or she was under investigation from DCS?
Under investigation.
Okay, so how do you think she got the state ID to access that kind of stuff? That's kind of like okay, because if she was getting investigated by them, that's one thing.
She got investigated down here because she was also working for Aries. That's like an Easter Seals.
Okay.
Where she acted like a counselor.
Okay.
She didn't. It wasn't required for her to have a clearance card at that time.
Right. Okay. Because
she was allowed to.
Might have been like a volunteer type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when her and her spouse got into it with the daughter, and the daughter became DCS victim, to put it safely, it got really bad.
Okay.
So I guess Sherry and that person had split ways, and so that Sherry wouldn't lose her clearance card, packed the kid up and leave. Right?
Okay.
But the thing was that DCS is like, well, where'd she go? The case isn't over. Right? Because it wasn't adjudicated. It wasn't closed out. I'm like, oh. So come to find out that she's down in Phoenix or Glendale. I'm like, oh, that's you. Because then she put it in writing on Facebook. She goes, oh no, the omission and admission are way different, and you have no idea. He was just verbal. It was okay, and there was no case anyway.
He said, she said, or
exactly.
like what she was trying to lead it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll do you a favor. I'll inform them for you, right? Because if it's true, you have nothing to worry about. And if you don't have a clearance card, nothing to worry about, right?
Right.
You say clearance card, you mean like a security clearance to the government?
No. Are you familiar with the...
Oh, the fingerprint cards?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, fingerprint cards.
I got you.
Right? And she doesn't... she was trying to tell us, she goes, oh no, I wasn't reporting on you, Rachel. I was reporting on your husband and this, that, and the other. What? Oh, because I put everybody on blast. The people that were at the rally that have criminal backgrounds. I think I did a. Oh gosh, where to begin? Love photos, gigantic photos. Oh, I'll back it up. This all originated back when they did the Lavender Pit event. Yeah, in Bisbee. Okay. And in Bisbee, this group, right? Oh no, we pressed charges. They wrapped us up in a banner and this, that, and the other. The BLM or people did. Right? And so we got the video, and I started screenshotting. I'm going, well, you're not getting wrapped up. You're grabbing the banner. and they're in, on public land. That's like infringing on somebody's rights. Very simple. It's also assault because you start grabbing something like a purse. It's attached to two people. They should have pressed charges with regards to assault because it was attached. Right? And then this gentleman, his name is Andrew Stephen Odell. Middle name is Stephen. Right? He goes by Stephen Odell on Facebook.
Okay.
Right? He works on Fort Huachuca. He signals. Right? I'm sorry, he's UAV. Works in the program. Okay. I'm like, you know what? I remember you. Right? Because our children do grit at Fort Huachuca on post.
Did you include him in your email?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I see in there. Okay. Yeah. Just so I'm not
then,
the
I'm like, you know what? I'll inform security. I'm sure a 15-6 would be lovely. Right? And those that are in the military understand that when it comes to any kind of investigation, do a 15-6 investigation. If you're clear, you're clear. If you're not, you're not. He was canned. Right? So now his new title on Facebook is, Kill Ninja. So, and then he's, he got the stick and deal. This was sent along with the video itself to Sheriff Daniels.
Okay.
Because as a ranger, I also was talking to Sheriff Daniels and our police chiefs. Because we're talking about policy, we're talking about ideas to better our community kind of a
Sure,
deal.
absolutely.
And I have an extensive background in certain areas. Well, or he's getting upset. Then I'm wondering, well, what's he carrying in his hand? A knife? Right? Who knows? But that was a question. That was sent to the sheriff. Oh yeah, on some other things too. Well, anyway, this was all full blast also on social media, and they got extremely upset. Oh, that's our. Did you see our?
I didn't see him. No, your decorations.
Yeah, they kind of lost their glow. So that's how this all kicked off, and then the attachment to the sheriff's department, Mr. Webster and Lacey, posting in front of departmental vehicles, along with another young lady who was a SAR volunteer. Her name is Angie Allred. A-L-L-R-E-D. Allred, sorry. And I'm like, you don't do that. And she's a SAR volunteer. Well, she posted on Facebook, or not Facebook, Instagram, that, those anti-American, will be there, full uniform next to a vehicle. I'm like, what? That's not conduct that's becoming, a good life. So, I sent that up to Sheriff Daniels as well. I'm like, here you go. And he emailed me, he goes, I got the conduct of our personnel, not a problem. I'm like, cool, sir. And then lo and behold, her husband, Marty, right, calls the Arizona Rangers, Sierra Vista, and has a major call me. Hey, Brent. Yes? Is it okay, I give Marty your information? I'm like, Marty who? He goes, SO Deputy Marty. I'm like, I don't know him.
He's not. He's not a deputy.
I'm like, oh no, he said he's a longtime friend of yours.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, really? I don't know him.
Sure.
I'm like, because he wanted my name and address. I'm like, just give him my email. I'm open. And he goes, well, he's wanting to come out and say hello. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know him. Right? And anyway, I'll let Sheriff Daniels know about this. Not a problem. Right? Whoa, why are you talking to Sheriff Daniels? We got all types of kind of freaking, especially on the phone, period. I'm going, that's pretty unusual. So, I informed Sheriff Daniels of that conversation, along with the phone number, time and date stamp, the whole bit, right? and I figured they'd take care of that. Haven't heard hide or hair from either one of them, not even an email, on my Ranger account. Which is odd because we have a .gov number email as well. Oh, you don't have a power line. That's different. Once that kicked off, we had that BLM March and Senate in Sierra Vista. It was before, during, and after that whole march that, I won't say Webster's group, I'll just say that group. That'd be a blanket statement. Started doing the attacks. Make sure you get the license plate numbers of all the vehicles there. I'm sure we have some out-of-staters. Yeah, that's not an out-of-state vehicle. Sorry. Not for what I got on the rear end of it. And taking pictures. My wife was also taking pictures because our children were there. First time children got to experience free speech. Right? Learning. No, 11 and 12. And me, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, walking around, making sure everyone's safe. Everybody distant. We're all wearing masks, doing everything correctly. Even though I gave a safety briefing beforehand. A young lady by the name of Destiny, who's 18 years old, put this up. She put it together. It's her ID. Destiny.
Kappas.
Huh?
Destiny Kappas.
Yeah. Right? And her grandfather and family asked, can you provide her protection? I went, sure, not a problem. I got a lot of EP equipment. So I got her in full-blown body armor under her shirt and whatnot to protect her. That way she could be comfortable and be protected. And I stayed next to her. And everybody else that showed up, and they're in full kit, outside. But we're all wearing, Hawaiian shirts. Everybody can sit there and, yell all they want, exercise their amendment rights. Not a problem. As long as nobody touched anybody and everyone's good. We handed out food and water. And I'm like, all right. Then the lady in the vehicle and that whole incident occurred. It happened, took about 10 minutes.
Is that when the lady got maced? Is that what you're saying?
Bear spray.
Oh, it was bear spray.
So Dawn, because part of our safety briefing is that I'm like, look, you're a lay person, you're not trained. I understand you're a prior Marine. It's easier if you're a prior Marine. I can give him crayon jokes a lot and stuff. So, being a lay Marine or a person, he's not familiar with the levels of force of use your voice. You didn't have canine or dogs. Nobody really had an ASP or a monadnock or a PR-24, right? Taser or
the levels, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
I went only in the fear of your life or another's, right? And you have to see out weapon, or you can articulate it on paper. So you put your hand on your firearm. Period. If you put it on your hand on your firearm, you draw it with a little ready. Right? You make that decision, and it's on you. Right? And like I said, outside of that, lower levels, by all means, right? Keep people safe. So there's a lady, I think she's like 72, she had a camera, and this lady was literally charged, and when she was charged, Dawn had stepped in between her and pushed on Dawn. I'm like, okay, good. I was more concerned because the car was impeding traffic on the roadway. It stopped in the middle of the road on a turn. Friday 92, I believe. I'm like, okay. Right? Getting vehicles to keep moving and whatnot. And then I had dispatch on speed dial so that SCPD, because we had spoken to the commander prior to that event in person, right? So he could meet Destiny in person, see that she's a petite little lady that just wanted to do the right thing. And I asked the protocols and what he would like us to do with regards to citizens arrests, harassments, assaults, batteries, etc. Right? Civil liberties. Because it's one thing, where people are yelling at your face, right in your face, not touching you, right? Completely illegal. right? Or standing next to you and just kind of making noise, right? Like an irritant. But which is completely legal, right? It's when you start spitting on people and other things like that that it gets, you know. So I was given those guidelines. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like, as long as you don't see a weapon, you're good. So when that lady stopped, apparently he saw her move towards the glove box, didn't know what, right? And then the lady exited because I had walked around going, come on, move, move, move. My body cam fell off. I'm like, what are you doing? I had to pick it up. I had a policeman in there. Anyway, when that went down, the other line were already on the median to come over to our shop. And that was the gentleman I put in the email. Timothy Willie, Anthony, Daniel Webster, and a few others. I'm like, whoa. Unshaven, unclean, dirty, smell the chemical. To me, it floored me because they look like they were on stuff that would make anybody hard to walk.
My understanding is Syracuse, the PD, is handling that.
Correct.
Side of the investigation.
JP5's got it. Yeah.
Right. We're the county, so we
Right.
don't have that jurisdiction at Friday night.
Yeah. I'm just giving you the lead up to this.
Okay.
So following that, her name is Kathy Trashman, right? The lady that was very great. Right? She was a realtor. Right? We're standing on 5 acres that I own. So I'm like, oh, really? Because the picture looks pretty, and then she gets out of the car looking not so. I'm like, no, I can't be the same person. Sure enough, it was. Our medics treated her. Ambulance took her away. They went to Copper Queen, and then following that on Facebook, it was a complete blow up. Right? Oh, BLM is this, that, and the other, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, it wasn't us, it was them. That was their side. So they had, like, well, we're going to find you. We're gonna, once we know who you are, it's game on as soon as we find you, right? I'm like, ha, yeah, right, whatever. Because I'm smart, my wife's smart, we lock our stuff down. But Shirley, right, she's able to locate her, which associated to me, because I had old pictures of her. Right? And the old pictures that she was throwing up, actually, I think I put them together on this for that PDF that I sent you. Oh, yeah, we have deer here. Kathy Lee Wright, and that's her mug, twice over. And I was put on social media, put her on blast that she's trying to find us. Or she's posting, she goes, Thomas Tadashi, that's her husband, me. Right? And I'm like, yeah, and you do what to children or your own child? Right? So it was that. But then she got into posting our company information, home address, and phone number, right? Which is fine because I got a 202 number anyway. And then this gentleman, right, where I put him out on the Cochise courts, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, citizens of Cochise, this little guy here has got a career, questionable career, right? Well, come to find out, this gentleman happens to be, what's his first and last name? Plaintiff? Well, what's his name? Put it down, put it down, put it down. Timothy Willisey. Right. THYWILLSCY. Bugs?
Yeah, they're coming to the flashlight.
And then I'm like, oh. No. Well, when he put himself out, right after we got off the phone last night, because up until the posting of, we'll shoot him, off of her posting of my information, and all the little postings that she was putting up were like, oh, Daniel Lacey, that's Tony Condor. He says, like, let's get together before somebody gets hurt, kind of deal, threats, if you want to call them that. That's the prime photo she took and posted on Facebook of my wife, right? Of her children's book. That's our LLC. Right? Now, like, what was it? No Dummy. That's your company, Rachel Kusama. So, yeah, that. And then she's doing all these kind of screenshots and throwing them on Facebook. That's a Sierra Vista badge that she attached to my hand. Right? Which I'm really good about not throwing that out at all.
Sure.
Or even in the Hawaii shirt, I had it underneath. It wasn't even open. But other than that, my wife's old picture of me when I was in Iraq in 03. Right?
What'd you do in the Army?
An MP. And then after being an MP, I was MPI, and then after that, after active duty of 04 until 2009, I was reserve, and I was at Fort Huachuca as a CI doing instructing.
I was just a dummy.
There's nothing dumb about me. I don't have a problem. No, from 93 to 97, I was in the AB in the United States Navy, or the USS Nimitz. And then from 97 to 2009, I was Army. So,
and you were federal law enforcement too, I see?
Yeah, DHS ICE. Yeah, she did throw that out there. She did throw out the I contracted because I was old BW. I did DOD and Department of State and another agency contracting overseas, from the Horn of Africa to Afghanistan and so on. The contracting that I did afforded my wife and the family a lot. For me, I just wanted to breathe. But prior to that, I was DHS ICE down in Los Angeles. Group 2 contraband, dope. Did a lot of writing, a lot of investigations. And then I got into doing worksite enforcement, which is investigating, companies that hire undocumented. And then I got into investigating TSA personnel and other federal employees that were doing other than correct stuff. So when I resigned in 08, with DHS ICE, that's when I started contracting overseas until 2012 or so. I was on an AMBO team, ambassador detail. Went through a State Department training in the academy. A lot of fun. Fast roping out of, crazy shit. Back when you got knees. But, right. And then, and people are, I'm the little old guy that nobody thinks that I'm old because I grew my hair out for my son. But, I enjoy my time working for the government, and I still consult, if you want to call it that. I'm still a member in Texas. I still do NRA. I refuse to be a victim as well. So, I'm tired that I'm doing this. Because as a refuse to be a victim seminar instructor for the NRA, I afford any agency a 10% discount on equipment, training, etc. And it's about teaching de-escalation, etc.
So to bring it back to tonight, what's the end state for you? What would you like to see done?
My wife would love to see her in jail and those guys arrested. And I'm like, well, I could see her losing her clearance card. That's going to be a given. I could see the terrorist threats and inciting people to come here and hurt us as a potential crime if all the elements are met. That's something a DA would have to review.
And I was going to say, at this point, it seems like Deputy Shaw is the primary case officer, is probably going to build a package and send it to the county attorney office for their review.
And no different than the federal government with any USA.
Right.
And if you got a new one, they'll take anything that is rolling, it's got teeth, right? And if you get an old one, it's like, no, I need my 15 minutes of fame. I need something better.
So if this was like a DV, we'd be slapping handcuffs, and that'd be straightforward. But it's a little bit murkier than that. So it's going to be more like a federal investigation.
Right.
Long play it, put it into a big document, and send it out to the county attorney.
Which is good. My wife is more concerned about the locals here that are what she would call white nationalist or racist or bigoted, etc., on coming to the house or hurting the kids. My concern, not my wife, are the children, because we have activities in town. Sierra Vista, Bisbee, all throughout Cochise County. And I'm like, well, that's going to suck. And she goes, oh, well, they wouldn't bring their kids to our kind of activities because our children play with all races. They're very picky as to what races they go to. I'm like, wow, okay. But what about them coming here? Well, they're putting it online. They want to come here. And now they're starting to try to hide their stuff. And so that's why screenshots, etc. I'm like, well, I had to sleep during the day today because I was up all night. I was retarded. And now the concern is the locals here acting upon what she put out.
Well, I'm sure you understand the process, based on your experiences of an injunction against harassment, which is basically a restraining order. And that would probably be your first step in this case.
And that's why I called and talked to Robbie Dispatch with regards to the case number for the attorney for that. But yeah, definitely a restraining order. The question is it a restraining order on the subjects that are here in our county, or is it from her?
Well, I wouldn't limit yourself. I mean, you can present this case to a judge and say, hey, you want an injunction against harassment against all of these named individuals. It'll require your evidence, and then you have his report number from dispatch. So then those would be the two things that you can reference, your investigation and his investigation.
Correct.
And then it's all about determining who these people actually are, and Facebook names are altered.
The nice thing is, Sierra Vista actually, since the chief was out and those officers had to do their job, there's a lot of poking at some of the officers that really didn't want to. But since the chief was out there, they had to do their job. They ran personnel. They did a cursory on them. They're supposed to, and they got the information. And they also realized that some of the people that were there did not have identification on them, which another red flag, right? So that's the start. Into the background, the backup, right? Because establishing them being documented or ID'd at some point in time, it's no different than me calling sectors on the federal side of the house going, hey, I need a 1028, 1029 on one, give them that license plate number, get the information off that car, and then go, hey, local SO, can you do a traffic stop on that, please? Right? Just an ID, right? And the name that you get versus what's going on, see what I mean? I think it's good jobs. So that's for me. That's kind of how that works. I understand it takes time. My wife's more of the immediate well, what they're saying is against the law. I'm like, look, chill. You know, dealing with my wife, I'd rather sleep out here. Just saying. I got one more email to send you as a PDF.
Okay.
That's why I try to keep it. I'm not one to just throw you 1,000 pictures. I'll just write one PDF to you.
Just the ones you think that are necessary for what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, I sent the clear ones where hey, you want us to meet you at Chiricahua or Huachuca City, or you want me to meet you over at Rainbow? That's a concern right now for me. That address, one of the addresses you threw up there, has our old address at Rainbow Vista Lane, off of Hereford. Right? Other people live there or rent there. It's a home. It's the only stick home there. It's not on wheels. And the people there, I would be concerned for, because if these yahoos decide to go there and harm them, that's not good. Right. So, to me personally, I would say that'd be the more immediate concern. Not thinking of myself, but somebody else. The short-term concern, these yahoos try to come up, visit all the places and come here and try something dark.
I think a lot of those people, because I've seen them on Facebook too, and Service of Chit Chat and Cochise College or Cochise Politics, Courts Crime.
Right.
I think a lot of them are just jabbing their jaw. I think a lot of them are just talkers. Yeah. But I understand that you want to protect yourself and your family, so that's why I think you need to go to the court first. Injunction against harassment, step 1. Step 2 is Deputy Shaw is going to be packaging this up and sending it off to the county attorneys.
So yeah, anything else that you come about, just feel free to email me. What I'm going to do is I'll basically just take your email and I'm going to print it off, saying this is your initial witness statement. And then I'll take those PDFs and I'll print those up too, and those will be my attachments on my report.
There you go.
And basically, I'll use your
I try to
email.
make that that document as simple as possible. I'm not one to...
And I'll use that as my outline, stating that the first contact was with the individual from DCS back in the day.
I did bullet it by date.
Yes, you did. Yeah, which will be helpful. So all I'm going to do really is I'll just use that same timeline, and we're here today making contact with you on the 22nd of September, and that you want...
Daniels did tell me on the phone that they are following them on media. He's watching them too. So
he's the Daniel Lacey account, whatever it is.
It was closed down.
Oh, it was? Oh,
yeah.
He had a pretty...
Yeah,
is it Daniel Webster now?
Daniel Webster, Daniel Lacey.
Yeah.
Both of them were chiming off of those two accounts.
Yeah.
They're shut down. They're done.
Okay.
Right? They're closed. The Lacey Phillips, hers, is the one she's using on the social media.
Yeah, I noticed the Daniel ones myself. They were pretty vocal about things. So.
Yeah.
They're definitely on our radar. Don't worry about that.
Well, it's one thing to say, hey, I support law enforcement, and then jump on another page and go, man, these motherfuckers are dumb, and disparage them. I mean, horribly. I'm going, wow.
The confidence you get behind the keyboard.
That would be like, being in the Army as an infantry, you're like, man, this crap sucks, man. I hate, having to march all the time. And then going around the corner going, man, this is the fucking loveliest thing in the world. I'm going to be a recruiter. No.
Yeah,
how would that work on a battle one out? Come on, really?
The confidence people get behind keyboards is kind of astounding these days. So.
Right? And then when you put them on full blast, they get so bent.
Right.
Because she's like, oh, you don't know me. I'm like, oh, isn't this you? And she goes, oh, and I'm like, it just happens to be a picture of her going, like some crazy woman. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Okay, so the other thing I'm going to do this evening is, like I said, I'm going to get you that victim's rights form. Okay, and I'm going to issue that to you. That way, that your the report number will also be there on paper, and you get to keep a copy of that, just so you have it, and the items that I'm looking at, harassment standpoint. and then your contact information will be on there, and then that way, like I said, you'll have a copy of that, and then that will go with the other attachments on my report. Okay.
I've been thinking, because I've been sitting reading the ARS codes, and it's one thing to know the codes, but it's more important to be able to apply them.
Yep.
Now, with harassment and stalking and all that, clearly met. However, I was also wondering if, given that this is a racial issue, is that terrorist related?
That would be FBI's.
I already sent it.
Okay.
So as far as
see what I mean? Because
we do a baseline level of charging, and then when we forward it to the county attorney's office and they review it, they apply the.
They're the letter of the law.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, being that this is racially motivated because of a race, right? Although I did out them going, wait a minute, I didn't know blue was a race. Are you Smurf? Yeah. So, but yeah, the racial innuendo, Black Lives Matter, etc., etc. I'm like, would that even quantify? But I was reading on the federal code, the United States Code Title 18, 643, Section 2. That's not the case. It needs to be more of a furtherance to it.
Yeah.
With regards to being a racial hate crime.
Right.
So, but I was just wondering, on the domestic terrorist side of the house, that would be possible.
Yeah,
If it shows,
promise you the county attorney will look at it from all different angles too when it comes to that kind of stuff, because they don't take that lightly.
no. Especially, I've been debating on whether, hell, I'm almost 50 years old, but I've been debating on either going back and working in law enforcement or just volunteering. Volunteering for the Rangers, that's easy. I can, hey honey, I'm out of here for the Rangers.
Yeah.
But I've been debating that.
I had a 53-year-old guy in my academy class. He just retired from the Army. He's up in Graham County, though.
Oh, is that who that is?
Mark Porter.
Last academy I went to was in Stockton, California for 6 months, 1,000 hours plus. And we're like, yeah, full kit, run the track until you throw up. Then when you're done, we're going to come back to the classroom. Right? That's how the Fresno City Academy was for Stockton Police Department, San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department, right, the whole bit. And I'm like, now me, I was a bunny rabbit, like tall ass. But I decided to go federal side. I'm like, air conditioning office?
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, if you would just let me see your ID again, that way I don't have to go to my computer and...
No worries.
Thank you right there, son.
You guys having a nice night, or you got a lot of calls in the queue?
Just starting.
I recovered a stolen gun earlier and came out here, so it's been pretty laid back. Other than that, got a few more hours to do. So
Are you a gun guy? Curiosity.
not really. I like the guns that I have, but then I don't go out of my way for them.
Check out a lower. It's called it's Blackwater Iron Horse.
What'd you say?
I had it.
A thumb trigger?
I had the. I'll show you the lower.
Whoa, that's cool.
I'll show you the lower. Oh, and if you like a shotgun that's about long, right? It's called Black Aces Tactical. They loves Pikachu. Oh, and I got him in archery. My wife just blows me up so much sometimes. Oh, those are our pets.
Nice.
I'm used to eating ducks, not having them as a pet. Oh, there we go. Alright, so there's a phone. Where's the...
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you.
4, 5, 6.
One? Okay, cool. All right, so I just need your signature right here.
Yeah, that's the phone that we got.
Oh, nice. Nice and old school. So basically, like I said, this is the Arizona Victims' Rights Form. This right here is a little pamphlet for victims. It's got court information, law enforcement numbers, all that good stuff. So if you want to look through that, victims assistance. Other, it seems like you're pretty squared away as far as who you need to contact and when, but that's just another little pamphlet that they like to hand out.
Yeah, you probably noticed on your email I had everything the police chief and the sheriff. And,
Yep. Oh, absolutely. So,
right, and BLM as well.
You did. So right now we'll just leave it as harassment, threatening, and intimidating. Okay. My report, if the county attorney thinks something else will fit, they'll throw it on there. Okay. Cool. So I'll let them interpret that. But this is your information down here right now. Since we just have Facebook information, this is what I'll just leave it as. We have suspects non-custody unknown, but they're adults. See if we can use that stuff from Facebook and see if we can gather more information on them and who they actually are. Okay. So
the thing is, JP5 does have their information.
Okay.
Charges because there are like 6 or 7 charges. Because I said, has anybody assaulted you or battered you or anything during that event? I'm like, police are right there. You go report.
Don't talk to them.
Don't walk away. Don't. You know.
And even if they're in our system, then I'll quickly change this and just throw it onto my report. And then once my report gets cleared, it's a couple weeks. Then you can actually get a hard copy of it later on. And you can just request that through the secretary. Okay.
Correct.
So this is our phone number. That's the non-emergency CCOM line for dispatch. If you use the direct sheriff's line, I think there's a way you can get to dispatch from there.
Oh, yeah, 9500?
Yeah, yep. So that'll get you to dispatch a different way. But that's just the direct hard line. So all it is basically you request your rights in this case is just saying keep your stuff up to date or let the courts know that you're changing your information. So if you do request your rights in this case, saying you will charges.
I got a home being built on the other side.
Oh, do you?
We're not going nowhere.
There you go. Okay.
That's a lot of money. I'm getting sunk in this property.
There you go. Right there for me. And dated as well. Here, I got you. There you got it.
I'm a lefty. That's one nice thing about me. I'm always on the left-hand side.
There you go. Awesome, sir. Here is your copy, like I said. Tear off for me. Okay.
Hopefully I'm your easiest customer today.
That's what we do.
Well, anytime you go on shift, you never know. And
nope, that's true. That's very true. So, if there's anything else, I will definitely be sure to get a hold of you. Any further questions I have. But if that's it for tonight, then we'll get out of your hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'll
I told my wife, I'm like, look, we're not only very prepared, however, you know, I'm not concerned about my own safety. I have a unique background. My wife, she's a Spitfire herself. So, but the concern with the children.
Sure, absolutely.
And I'm like, honey, we have to live here. You know.
Might as well make it safe for ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you don't want to be, burnt out of your home kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Or run out kind of deal. So I'm like,
absolutely.
Gotta do something.
Absolutely. I hear you.
All right, sir. You have a good night. Be safe.
Yeah. Hey, you too. And
thanks, Brent. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, be good.
Thank you. You as well.
Service. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you meet me at Mustang Corner? JP just wants to call, and then that way you can at least voice your concerns. Yeah.
How you get?
Perfect. I'll buy, dude. I got you.